Hi, Dave here from Finks Automotive in Chatsworth, California. Today I want to discuss a dash rattle that could occur in a Lotus Elise from around 2007 all the way up into the 2014 and 15s. I recently made a video with my Tesla Roadster on how to repair a dash rattle. After attending a Lotus event this weekend, I realized that the Lotus Elise dashboard is identical to the Tesla Roadster. So if you have a rattle in your dash in your Lotus Elise car, go ahead and watch this Tesla Roadster video, and I think you may find some solutions, or at a minimum, learn how to take some of the dash apart if you have other issues or if you're replacing the radio and so forth. I hope you enjoy the video and find it informative. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dave with Finks Automotive in Chatsworth, California. Today I'm working on a 2008 Tesla Roadster. This is the first car that Tesla introduced back in 2008. They made approximately 2,450 Roadsters between 2008 and 2011. So they're really a very limited amount of these cars on the road. They were all electric and really state-of-the-art at the time. This particular car has a pretty decent sized rattle coming from right behind the steering wheel under the upper dash. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to disassemble the upper dash, and I'll go through the steps as to how I did that, locate and try and isolate what is rattling underneath the dash, and then reassemble the car back together again. First, let me show you what the car looks like with the upper dash removed. You can see that the side panels here had to come off, as well as the speedometer binnacle and the binnacle cover. I removed the radio and the radio surround, and also the passenger side airbag cover and the passenger side fuse box cover, in order to gain access to the top of the dash, where there's about 5 screws along the perimeter that hold the dash down. Here is the upper dash, and what holds this down are 5 screws that are along the perimeter here. And there is some foam that goes along the top of the dash to try and prevent that from rattling. In addition, the back of the dash is secured to the firewall with just these pins right here. There's one on each side. And I suspect that this pin here may have been rattling, but I'm not positively sure, but we're going to go ahead and insulate that before we reinstall the dash. In order to remove the surround binnacle, this piece actually just snaps in, and you can see there's snaps on 4 sides, and they're really strong, and then a piece of Velcro here. So you simply, when this is installed, pull up on the Velcro and then a good firm pull to remove that. Same kind of applies with the side trim. This is the trim on an 08, where it has the monitor system installed here. And what there are here is 2 Allen bolts here and here, two Phillips screws here and here that remove the trim around this, and then 2 more Phillips screws here and here. And then this piece also is snapped in with some clips and just pulls straight out to remove. You do need to remove the steering wheel lower cover. This is just a few screws that hold this on, 2 here and 2 here and 2 on this side. Unplug the wire for setting the odometer back, and that piece comes right out. And then the same with the passenger side. This is the trim that goes around the fuse panel. You can see that there's 2 screws here and 2 screws on the top here to remove that. Once all that's out, this panel just slides right out, and we can go ahead and find out what is rattling. So my rattle was located on the driver's side, right behind the steering wheel, right in this area here. And what would happen is you could just, going down the road, it was so loud, it was unbelievable. What I discovered is there's insulation here, so I guess it wasn't that, although it did sort of sound like it was coming from the front. If you look in the back right here, this is where that pin that I showed you goes in, and there was some rattling coming from that area too. Hard to determine whether it was that area or something else. Then what I discovered is that this particular connector right here was just rattling away, and you can hear it, and that's sort of what the rattle sounded like, and it was really continual. It almost sounded like this was hitting on the bottom of the upper dash, but that wasn't the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insulate this to keep this from moving, I'm going to go ahead and insulate the pins on the upper dash where they insert into these two screws here. I'm going to re-insulate this area here, and then I'll let you know after the car's reassembled how we did. In order to try and eliminate the rattling coming from the driver's side dashboard, this is what I did. If you look here, you'll see the white and black connectors on this computer board here. And those connectors would move side to side a little bit pretty easily, causing a rattle. So all I did is I inserted foam around those connectors to keep them from moving around a little bit. And now they're nice and stable. And if that's what was causing the rattle, that rattle will be eliminated. If you look here, this is the original foam that the dashboard has on it all along here to try and keep the upper dash from rattling along the lower dash there. So what I did to try and make sure that that was going to be okay is on the upper dash, I added foam here, along the side over here, and the same on the driver's side here and here, to try and make sure that the dash doesn't flex in the front where I was hearing the noise. What's more, I went ahead and added electrical tape around the two pins that intersect the cowl from the back of the upper dash to keep it from rattling and well, just in case there was some clearance there that was causing some rattling. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and reassemble the car, and I will let you know how that result worked. Before I install the upper dash back into the car, I decided to go ahead and upgrade the front speakers as they had been deteriorated. I was fortunate and able to find this set of Kenwood peak power 220 watt speakers from Amazon. I think they were about $30 for the pair, and they are an exact bolt-in plug and play match to the original speakers. The only thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and transfer the wire from the factory Tesla speakers onto these Kenwood speakers, and they weigh about a pound less. Also, while the dash was out, I went ahead and treated the dash with my favorite cleaning products for interior, 303 brand cleaner and protectant, and you can see that the dash looks brand new after doing that. So you'll simply have to install the speaker with the factory speaker grill or retainer and the speaker grill, with a little warning that that grill is really difficult to get back into position. As an alternative, if you're not a purist, what you can do is you can go ahead and install the Kenwood speaker like this, and then you can use this Kenwood grill that came with the speakers, and it actually lines right up with the original screw holes on the dash. The only problem is it leaves about a 1/4 inch gap around the edge of the dash here, which is just going to collect dirt. And plus, I like to have everything just the way it was. So this is how it looks with the Kenwood speaker and the factory speaker grill and surround in place. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this installed, and I'll show you the completed result. The Tesla Roadster is back together. The dashboard is completely reassembled, and I was fortunate that none of the panels that were removed that are snap-in broke or scratched or were deteriorated in any way. And it looks great. Everything, the fit and finish is perfect. Well, the dash is back in the Tesla Roadster, and it was time to road test. I'm happy to report that this repair was a total success. No more rattling coming from the dash. The car is nice and quiet. However, everyone should know that Tesla Roadsters have suspension like a go-kart. They are very rough, so there's still some squeaks and rattles throughout the car. But overall, this was a very, very good result. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I hope you found it informative, and we'll see you next time.